What up, people? Mike Steph here, and welcome to another edition of the Salty Thoughts Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world, what he does. I'm here late Sunday night, early Monday morning to give you, the masses, what you richly deserve, at least most of y'all, what y'all richly deserve, and that is the WWE, my WWE WrestleMania 42 recap. I entitled these recaps off the top, pretty much my recollection, my feelings, my first thoughts, not my second thoughts, my second-hand thoughts, not my third thoughts, not my borrowed thoughts, not my salty thoughts, even though most of those thoughts might be salty, but my interpretation of what I saw over 2 nights of WrestleMania action, WrestleMania events, WrestleMania. Listen, not to be blunt, to be quite blunt, and this is not going to be me whining and complaining and kvetching about the products because I've done that for weeks at a time. At this point in time, months at a time. So regular viewers will know my stance. New viewers, well, at the end of this review, you'll actually know my stance on the current product. I will start like this. Before I get into, I'm going to start with night two, and then I'm going to go recap night one. So I'm starting with two first, going to one. But before I even start, I'm going to say this. This is my first time since WWE made the migration over from Peacock to ESPN app. This is my first time partaking in viewing a PLE via ESPN. So all the criticisms, all the complaining about ads and commercials. I figured, well, people were complaining and getting mad about the ads and the commercials when they were still on Peacock. Only because I had the premium version of Peacock, sans the ads, did I kind of abstain for all that, except for, unless it was just a WWE ad. But as for the commercials, I didn't have any. Now, I don't know if there's a $50 tier, which they would not get my bread for one night. Not $50. Because tell you the truth, the only reason I got the app, when I got the app, was so I could watch WrestleMania. And within that same 30-day period, I'll be able to get Backlash. And then I'm canceling it. Matter of fact, I'll probably cancel it now. So therefore, I don't have to worry about it automatically renewing by mistake. When I watched night one, after the first two matches, which were, I wouldn't say pre-show matches, but which were the WrestleMania hour that was available on ESPN2, the rest of the night, I found it very difficult for me to actually get into the wrestling. Yeah, I know everybody's like, oh, the lack of wrestling, it only had 68 minutes of wrestling. It was 85 minutes, whatever. Whatever wrestling they had, either in ring, sans the entrances, including the entrances, whatever they was presenting, I had a problem in getting into because of the pacing of the show, the pacing of the event. Every 10 to 15 minutes on my screen was either a commercial or WrestleMania Vegas is currently in commercial break. Please stay tuned. You actually have more commercials on this than you had watching Saturday Night Main Event. I am not used to digesting or consuming my wrestling in especially big events such as WrestleMania in parts. And I'm not talking about part one and part two. I'm talking about in a million and one pieces. I'm used to watching the whole event from front to back. Night two was a little bit better for yours truly, at least, because due to family obligations, I got home maybe about 2 hours into WrestleMania, and I was able to just start it from the beginning and able to fast forward past the majority of the commercials, and also keep my phone from in front of me do not disturb, so I didn't get surprised with any type of spoilers or what have you. That's how I enjoyed night two. But the damage was already done. I told myself, listen, that's it. I'm not saying I'm going to stop being a fan, but I already have stopped giving this company my real hard earned money with their half baked product. And what I saw at night one just confirmed that. What I saw at night two, eh, yeah, you could say it was better by leaps and bounds, but that's because night one couldn't have got any worse. Also, it's very easy for you to rebound when you know night one was a drizzling crap. And you say, you know what, we need to rebound. We know what we did wrong, or we know what the fans are complaining about. We're going to give them XYZ so they can leave, so we can end on a high note. The first impression is always supposed to be the best impression, right? My first impression of WWE on the grand stage of WrestleMania as an ESPN product, as an ESPN property, ugh, no bueno, no bueno. I couldn't, and I won't. I will continue doing what I've been doing since the migration, since the beginning of WrestlePalooza, and that's abstaining from watching the PLEs. Probably watch whatever clips are available on YouTube because they literally spoil everything on YouTube with clips. They might not give you the ending, but you get the gist. Between that and social media clips, you can watch it. And and that's how I will consume my WWE product for the time being until I deem them worthy enough, if I ever deem them worthy enough, to pay $30 a month for their product. And people be like, well, you watch Raw, right? Yes, I do. Well, you spend all this money on Netflix. Yeah, but I don't have Netflix just for WWE. Tell you the truth, I didn't have Peacock just for WWE. To be quite candid with you, I still have Peacock. Do I watch it as much as I did? No. But I still have Peacock because I like watching my 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 Law and Order SVU live while I'm on the clock. And the only way I could do that on my mobile device is via the Peacock app. So that's what I do. Sue me. But neither here nor there. I'm gonna get into night two, and because first of all, that was the better night. And I think I want to save all my angst, all my anger, all my frustration for the latter half of this podcast, so I will not distract or scare away some of the first time viewers. The main event of night two was the OTC, the original tribal chief. Even though I don't understand why he's the original, there's only one tribal chief. The tribal chief, Roman Reigns, winning the World Heavyweight Championship from the straight edge fraud himself, CM Punk. This match, as wrestling wise, is what you expected. Um, I will say I was somewhat surprised that they did allow some color in this match, but Punk is the company man, so you should know that they're gonna allow Punk to have some color. But due to the hatred that they've both exhibited toward each other and verbalized toward each other, you could not have such a match. You could not have such a grudge match that goes back 12, 13, 14 years. And it's not inundated with celebrity drop-ins. Pretty much was mano y mano. And they took it to each other. Now, what's so funny is you have the entrance. You have the entrances, right? You have Roman Reigns come out. I mean, they did actually have a video package, which was something that was lacking for the majority of these matches. And I think because they had to squeeze in time for uh ads, commercials, video packages. See, in the days of the Peacock era, if you had the ad-free version, you got a video package, a summation of what's going on with this rivalry. And if you didn't have the ad-free version, then you got a commercial. This, we're not giving anybody a video package until the main event. The main event's the only one that's worthy enough to get a video package. Okay, whatever. So you have Roman Reigns come out and they pay homage to his family, to his heritage, to his bloodline. The late Peter Maivia, the late Alpha and Sika being Roman Reigns' father, the late Yokozuna, greats both in WWE, but also the heritage, the lineage. That is what Roman Reigns has represented. This is his 11th WrestleMania main event, the most ever by any competitor in WWE. 11. 2 years ago, he evented back-to-back nights, the only man besides Cody Rhodes to ever main event back-to-back nights. But in that case, Cody Rhodes was riding the coattails of the head of the table, the tribal chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns. So he comes out in this majestic way. They have not an orchestra, but three men, 2 men and a woman. One with the doom, 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 with the drums, the epic drums. One on the piano, and an opera singer. It was epic. Then you have CM Punk. Now, when you first heard the first strains of AFI, his theme song from Ring of Honor, I was like, okay, don't get me wrong, it's a bop. Don't get me wrong, I understand this is big time for CM Punk. This is his. Listen, I know last year was all cute and fun and games, and yeah, I finally got to the main event. But listen, that was a triple threat. They gifted you that. This is his first legitimate main event with a title on the line. He's the incoming champion. Big time feel. So of course, he's going to use all the tricks up his sleeve to garner the support of both his followers and the masses abroad. He used the same technique in AEW when he had that the dog collar match with MJF and their epic feud. And he came out to AFI's song. When he came out with the old CM Punk training jacket with the XXX. This time, no training jacket, but there was another jacket. But before I get to that, they show him supposedly sitting on the top of the Allegiant Stadium with his belt. Top of the world, man. Best in the world. Punk going to the jacket, he had Punk is a tryhard. And I know a lot of people will hear the words that's coming out my mouth and either be shocked beyond or be shocked beyond disbelief, or will label me to be a hypocrite, a fraud, um, someone who is backtracking on their words of years and years and years and years of support. And if you feel like doing it, that's your risk. That's your will. A man is entitled not to just change his opinion, but to have a more mature and formulated thought of situations that be. You don't have to always be married to stuff that you no longer believe. And like I said, CM Punk, he's just not the person that he claims to be. He's there's kid this old saying, if if the majority of people say the same thing about one particular individual, is everybody wrong? No matter what era, no matter what company, no matter what side of the fence, is everybody wrong? Is that man just castigated? Is he just crucified for his beliefs? Oh, matter of fact, yeah, shoot, crucified beliefs. Shoot, he's atheist, right? Just saying. But I say he's a tryhard because of this. He wears his jacket and he has four names on the jacket, and he has a picture and two pictures. So one name was, I believe, the Blackhawks former either announcer or PA announcer that passed away recently. I get it. Three names on the sleeve were members of the WWE fraternity family for decades. That was an integral part in the growth of WWE throughout the years. Okay. He has a picture of his dog, a patch of his dog, Larry, who died last year. Okay. Then he has a picture of a crown on the back that, according to Michael Cole, symbolizes Harley Race, someone who mentored him and he always chose to um, want to make Harley proud. And while all this is great, all this is such an upstanding gentleman, such a person filled with respect. Do y'all realize? Do y'all not think that he does this to disarm his opponents, both fictional and real life, both in the ring and outside the ring, both in the business and abroad? Disarm, I mean, as in, listen, if I'm such a paragon of virtue, if I'm such a upstanding citizen, am I such a guy who goes out on a limb for those to keep the memory alive, to keep the fire burning? Can you really fault me if I say some things, or I think some things that could be construed as unpopular to the majority, unpopular due to your cup of tea? It's almost like Eminem at an eight mile battle. Let me go first, and I'm going to tell the crowd. I'm going to diss myself for every diss that you can have toward me. I'm going to say it to the crowd, so therefore you have no more ammunition to use to hurt me. But yet I have this whole cachet of things that I'm going to throw at you. And ain't nothing you can do about it. I know it's 19 minutes in, and I'm just getting to one match, and I haven't really talked about the match that much. I've just talked about one individual, right? I told you it's off the top. Deal with it. But yeah, to me, having this elaborate video, having this copyrighted song, having everything that he would want to make this moment special to him, and being allowed to do so, exposed that he is the establishment that he railed against for all those years. Can't lie. I can't lie. He's good. He's great. He is tremendous at being a manipulator. A cult of personality in real life, live and in color, in the flesh. Punk was at his in his best shape of his career, even though he got those milk breast chest, you know, those nipples that look like they're about to lactate for a minute. I've never seen Punk with, and I know somebody probably like, yo, pause, dude. Why you talking about some dude's nipples? Reason I bring that out because, first of all, never seen that with Punk, especially somebody espouses to be straight edge. I'm not saying he's using any type of performance enhancement drugs, but I'm quite sure at the age of 47, your nipples don't all of a sudden just start becoming nice, and you get the picture. You get the picture. End of the match is this. They go outside. Roman decides to ratchet up the violence just a notch. He hits Punk with the stairs, busts him open. Punk gets his get back, puts Roman through the announce table with a elbow off the top rope, gets into the ring. They trade finishers for a little bit, and then Punk has Roman dead to rights. He has Roman, and he got him with the GTS. And Roman bounces off the rope right back on Punk's shoulders. And Punk attempts to give him another GTS. But due to the war of attrition, Punk does not have any more strength left and cannot get Roman up to give him the fatal blow. That allows Roman to recuperate and hit Punk not once, but twice with the spear to become your new world heavyweight champion. The tribal chief is back on his throne. The ending of the match was apropos because it goes back to what was said a couple weeks ago in a promo. The one that initiated the comment that initiated physicality was when Roman called Punk old. Am I saying that's like some grand gesture? Am I saying that's like a genius? No, but I'm just saying this was storyline driven. And Roman did say, when Sunday comes, you're not going to be able to hang with me. He did say within the first couple minutes, it would become apparent to everyone that there's levels to this. It took 25 minutes or so, but at the end, it ended up being there's levels to this. He could not hang. He couldn't get the job done. His mouth wrote checks that he couldn't cash at the end. He was talking that cash-ish, and he couldn't cash it. Couldn't even break it down for 4 quarters. 10 dimes, 20 nickels, 100 pennies, 2 50-cent pieces. You get the gist. That main event was worth main eventing a WrestleMania. There was no celebrity involvement. Did they go all around the point just to get to that point? Yeah. Could it have been better? Yeah. I'm talking about the build. Yeah. But Roman ended up being correct. Punk couldn't hang, and Punk kept on saying, "You can't do anything without your cousins." The Usos were nowhere to be found on night 2. Maybe because Jay was trying to duck that fade from Cam. I don't know, but the OTC is back in effect. Now, the semi-main event. Yeah, I'm gonna call it the semi-main event because to me, these two women delivered. Rhea Ripley is your new WWE Women's Champion, defeating Jade Cargill for said championship. Now, the match, I don't know, match probably went maybe about 10 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more, but probably about 10 minutes. So I wasn't timing it. But it was a it was a good length. It wasn't a squash. It didn't end anticlimactically. It was a good match. And Jade more than held up her end of the bargain. Um, she even pulled out a one-wing angel, which got kicked out of, but that's just adding moves to repertoire. One of the best moves that I saw was when Rhea went to punch her and she snagged her and put it into the crossface seamlessly. So it's funny. It's funny that Jade, by improving or showing improvement, the title gets taken from her, or she drops the title, right? So Rhea Ripley is your champion when she reversed was it a Jaded? No, she reversed. I forgot there was supposed she went for the riptide that got reversed, and she reversed it back and got into the riptide for the win after Io Sky came down. But prior to that, Jade Cargill's new baddies, Meechin and B-Fab was down there, and they didn't help at all. All they did was actually distract Jade. And Jade's like, "Yo, what the you doing? Yo, get her, get her, get her." Io came down, settled the score. Um, Jade was distracted, and that's how they had to end up the reversal situation for the pin. Now, I'm going to watch my words very carefully because I don't. Number one, as I told Main Event K, because yes, me and Main Event K did watch Night 2 together. I don't. Me and Main Event K was talking about the Rhea Jade situation, right? How it started out, the build got off to a rocky start because Jade was trying to drum up some interest online, um, and was saying some stuff, and Rhea felt the way about that. Said, "Listen, I ain't trying to jack that. I ain't trying to rock with that." And other people from the locker room chimed in and so forth. Okay. The discussion in the discussion, it came up that some people feel that Rhea was playing the victim card, saying, well, I, I don't like the fact that she put a narrative out there about me, and we didn't agree to that, and so forth, and and I it's almost like she took her ball and ran home right at the beginning. So that caused the bill to be very generic. Yeah, some people say, well, you should want things to be um focused on the in ring and not the social media aspect. Yes, I understand that. But in the era that we're in, especially on the match that on the outside looking in, matter of fact, on the inside looking in, this match shouldn't have been made. Like, okay, we know who they had hoped that we know who they hoped Jade would be wrestling against at WrestleMania. Everybody knows that if everything would have worked out, Jade and Bianca would have been one of the matches for WrestleMania. Things didn't work out for them to be able to wrestle each other. But on a side note, and this is not really a side note, because this was announced yesterday, and being the fact I brought her up, I'm going to say it now. Bianca Belair, during night one, announced that her and her husband are expecting. They're having a little EST. So, congratulations to her and Montez Ford, Bianca and Montez Ford on their newest addition to their family. It's a beautiful thing. It really did touch me. Um, her and Naomi, actually, now the big three are always going to have three, but yeah, her and Naomi actually end up taking time off to expand their families and having their first child. It's just a wonderful thing. So, congratulations to them. But the match that should have been made was the match that they hinted to numerous times since Jade has been not only on the main roster but in the company, and that is Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair. If you want a quote unquote dream match, if you wanted a quote unquote marquee match for WrestleMania for Jade Cargill, it should have been Charlotte. Now, maybe they thought about it, and then over this last year, they realized that Charlotte needed a lot of um, fixing, renovating, so to speak. So they chose not to. But also, this brings back to the point that Rhea, Rhea talks slick. Rhea, to, I- Rhea seems like the type of person that likes to throw rocks then hide their hands. Case in point, Rhea said that she didn't like the narrative that was being spread by Jay Cargill, so forth. Okay, Rhea threw shots at Charlotte years ago, probably more in the storyline, but there was some truth behind it that Charlotte always has to be in the spotlight. Charlotte always has to be in the main event. Charlotte always has to be in a title picture. And on numerous times, Charlotte did not do Rhea any favors when Rhea was on her come up. Isn't it the same thing that's going on now? It's just you're doing it in a passive aggressive way. The reason I say that is, why did Rhea Ripley win? Think about it. If it wasn't for this match, what would she have done in WrestleMania? Let's say Jade already had her her match set in stone. Let's say Bianca was back. What would Rhea be doing? On Raw, you already had. She wouldn't have been in the Raw picture. She probably would she have been in the tag team picture? Perhaps, but that already came and went because they had to rush to get the titles off her to shoehorn her in for a WrestleMania title match, right? So, what would she have done if Jade wasn't available? And why was this? Why was this done? For what reason was this done? Was it for sympathy? Was it empathy? As I just mentioned, everyone everyone used to call Charlotte Flair inevitable. Well, Rhea Ripley is now inevitable. She's like Thanos. It's inevitable. The crowd was into this. Jade had a strong showing, but I will say this, and it's not isolated to this match, but why are the layouts of matches so similar and predictable? If it's one-sided, such as this match, like when Jade took 80% of this match and Rhea winning, that doesn't really surprise you because a couple matches earlier, Sami Zayn in his match with Trick Willie took 80% of that match and Trick Williams won. WWE has all these star-studded agents and match producers, yet the matches look cloned. They look phoned in. They look like they don't communicate with each other. Like, this is what I'm going to do at my match. Make sure your match looks different. I mean, this happens at both companies, but we're not talking about AEW right now. We're talking about WWE. Also, this is something that I want y'all to hear, because on the post show, Rhea spoke on the verbal back and forth that took place at the beginning of this build and said the following. I'm going to play the audio so I don't have to worry about any copyright strikes.
In the approach to WrestleMania, now it's in the rearview mirror.
Yes.
Now you can catch your breath.
Mm-hmm.
What was going through your mind tonight when the referee counted to 3? You heard your own music and you heard the stadium erupt.
Oh man, just like every single flashback over the last month just flooded my brain completely. All the sly comments that Jade would throw my way to try to diminish me and the name that I've built here in the WWE. She claimed that she was better than me. She claimed that she didn't need to do the things that I've done, jump through the same hoops that I jumped through. And look, I'll give her the credit when credit is due. She's made a massive name for herself. But at the end of the day, she's now going to remember me as the bitch that beat her.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Everybody's like, well, they're in character. No. You can't have it both ways. You cannot cry foul when someone is getting the best of you verbally or a quick on their feet, a quick witted, and they beat you to the punch. You can't cry foul and say, "Oh, I didn't agree to this. I don't like what she's putting out there." Da 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 da. And then at the very end of the feud, matter of fact, can't cry to the point that nothing was used in the build, but then at the very end, after the match is over, after you've been victorious, you are now the new WWE Women's Champion. You can't go on a post show and those shots. You can't go on the post show and those shade. You can't go on a post show and talk your ish when it was woman to woman, mano a mano. You tapped out. So everything now is null and void. That's what I mean, as in throwing rocks and hiding their hands. There was a reason why Rhea came at her. Whether she was right or wrong or how she did it, there was a reason why she came at her. And the most important thing was she was using some reality to try to build interest into a match. You already knew you were going to be at a disadvantage verbally. So therefore, you, once again, CM Punk, same MO. Let's disarm you because I already know I got to end. I got to end with the people, with the powers that be. So let me disarm you. And then once everything goes the way I'm quite sure it's going to go, because everybody knew, unless there was an injury, everybody knew when this match was made that Rhea Ripley was going to end up on top, because mommy's always up on top, right? Right? Oh, there's more. There's more.
We know how personal this got in the approach to WrestleMania. Now, So, like a few weeks ago, you came up on my show, Ebro Laura Rosenberg,
Yes.
and you sat there and you told us that you didn't know if Jade could handle a match at WrestleMania with Rhea Ripley. I'm going to ask you a tough question. Were you impressed about anything by Jade Cargill tonight?
I mean, look, I'm never going to speak down on someone when they've actually shown me that they can go. And Jade, she brought it tonight. She had me laying on the mat a couple
Let's go
times.
through the highlights. You take us through some of these
sure,
moments
I'll
here.
go
We'll
through
show you
some
what happened
highlights.
as you were able to win the women's championship.
Now, it was very shrewd by Joe Tessitore to actually get off the avenue which they were going, because she was like, yeah, you know, she did good tonight. Yeah, you know, she had me on the ground a couple times. Go and watch the clip if you're not familiar. Joe Tessitore saying, yeah, let's go to the highlights. Kind of, they end up not really getting to the question that Peter asked. But once again, shots fired. I don't know. I just don't subscribe to all that. I really don't. But Jade proved what she needed to prove, at least in the big spot, because all eyes were going to be on her, and everybody would have thought that if this match didn't come off the way it was meant to come off, all the blame would have been on Jade. And tell you the truth, none of the blame could go on Jade. She came in there looking like $1 million, and tell you the truth, she more than held up her end of the bargain. So now, something I could have started off with, and I probably should have, but I'm biased, so I started with my tribal chief, and that would be the first match of the night: Brock Lesnar versus Femi. Brock Lesnar. Well, matter of fact, Femi defeated the Beast, Brock Lesnar, in the opening match of WrestleMania Sunday in probably less than 5 to 6 minutes. Oba took Brock's best punches, best moves at the very beginning. Brock had to retreat. Paul Heyman had a look of disbelief. Brock caught the advantage when Oba was being a little bit too overzealous. Got him on the outside, ran him into the ring post a couple times, injured the arm, took him to Suplex City for a couple times, and then Oba took over. Oba is over. These pictures I have on your screen is Femi manhandling Brock Lesnar. He pretty much no-sold the F5. He got up, choke slammed him, gave him the power bomb, and it was it. That was it. It was a wrap. Gave him the fall from grace. And man, that fall from grace is a fall from grace. Brock was stayed laid out until Femi exited. Oba gave the salute, gave the proverbial tip of the hat, the nod of like, thank you for doing the honors for me. And the crowd actually gave Brock Lesnar a cheer for doing the right thing in putting Oba over. And then a strange thing started happening. Brock took off his gloves. Brock took off his boots and left them in the ring. Brock got down on his knees, kissed the ring, kissed the mat, Paul came in, looked a little befuddled, looked a little confused. Brock almost gave the sign like it's a wrap, it's over. He did the like if somebody's hurt, he just like it's over. Paul even started crying. They hugged, and Brock Lesnar, totally out of character, acknowledged the fans, told the crowd thank you. Because they was like, thank you, Brock, thank you, Brock, thank you, Brock. Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Brock. And he acknowledged them. And he left not to be seen again, and perhaps for the final time. Is it a wrap? Is he retiring? Is he retiring? It seemed legit. This has to be on the next season of Unreal, right? What a way to kick off night 2 after such an underwhelming night 1. Now, joke time. Are these reparations from Brock Lesnar to the African American contingent of wrestlers who have put down over and over and over and over again for Brock to allow Femi to be the one to retire him, the next big thing to retire him? Or did Brock call an audible and did what he wanted to do at the end? The retirement part, not the outcome. The reason I asked is, like I said, Heyman seemed surprised at the extent that it went. Like, was it one of those things of, okay, there's going to be a show of respect. All right, listen, I'm putting over, show respect, let Oba get his spotlight and everything, and then I head to the back, and then Brock is like, yo, y'all didn't even know. I'm blowing this joint. Only reason I came back is because y'all offered me some bread. My boy, my bro, Vince is gone. Vinnie Mac is gone. I got cleared. Y'all offered me the check. I came back, but the media run that he has been on, he's actually kind of told y'all without telling y'all that, yo, it's a wrap. Like, what else is there for him to do? He's 47, 48 years old. His children are grown. I think he has a daughter that's doing female wrestling or whatever, collegiate wrestling. So it's like, listen, he just wants to be he's a family dude. He just wants to be with his family, his wife, his kids, and that's it. He got enough money, doesn't really care, and he's good. And maybe, you know what? I'm not gonna get nobody's personal business. But yeah, he's good. So it would not surprise me if that was the case. But this man right here, when he first started taking everything off, it's like, wow, dude he's really taking it off. He's really, wow, okay. Okay. It's crazy when you see it. That's the look of a man who is at peace with decision, but that's also a look of a man of, I don't think he told anybody. I think he was like, yeah, it's a Rizzy. It's a Reynolds rap. For me, which y'all thought I was gonna stay here and put Gunther over. No shade against Gunther, but nah. Like, if I'm gonna lose, well, I'm not going out on a losing streak. Not even that, but if I'm gonna go out, Minnesota, yeah, quote unquote, that's my home, but that's not my home. WrestleMania is my home. I'm supposed to hang around for another couple months just to do what? Maybe, like I said, maybe this is just me going on off the top of my head, but that's what I believe is going on. It's hard to think. It's hard to really fathom that Brock has been back 14 years. Think about that. Brock Lesnar has been back 14 years. He left for 8 years, and he's been back for 14. His first run was only 2 years. It's amazing. It's amazing. But listen, to each his own. To each his own. In other matches, Trick Willie, Trick Willie, the Lemon Pepper Stepper, captured the United States Championship from Sami Zayn, the Gingerbread Man, in an okay match. There was interference from Little Yachty, but that led to the ending. Sami Zayn tried to set up the haluva kick, and Trick Willie was able to hit him with the trick knee for the victory. Sami Zayn descent into madness continues, and Trick Willie leaves WrestleMania as United States champion. Also, start getting down and dirty with his fiancee, Lash Legend, on the post show. It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. Where does this go? Sami Zayn, of course, like I said, he's gonna go. He's gonna go do his 1-2 and Trick. I don't know if they're gonna officially make him a heel. I mean a face, but let's put it this way. I don't think Little Yachty's gonna be there for the long haul. And Little Yachty he complements the act perfectly. But what is going to be the follow-up after Mania? As I just get text this picture of Trick Willie, Little Yachty, and Paul Levesque. Oop. Yeah, more like this. Yeah, of course, that man has always had to put the finger up. Whatever. Oh, what other match? Oh yeah, the ladder match. Penta retains. The Young OG showed out. Dragon Lee showed out. Rey Mysterio got through the match without getting injured. Rusev was Rusev, and Penta retained. JD McDonough got put over big by Michael Cole. Called a future champion. I don't know what that's worth, but that's neither here nor there. But I did say that if Javon Evans wasn't going to win, Penta was going to retain. So, to tell you the truth, I can't remember my preview predictions. I know I probably was 5-2 in night one, and maybe like 4-1 night two, if that. I don't think I chose Rhea to win. I know the OTC, I know Trick, and yeah, whatever. Now, going for night one, we're gonna go backwards. We're gonna go with this travesty. This travesty of epic proportions. Cody Rhodes defeated Randy Orton in the main event of WrestleMania Saturday to retain the WWE Championship in a match that lasted, who knows? Seemed like it lasted forever, number one. Number two, at the very beginning of the match, they got all the celebrity involvement out the way for the most part. Pat McAfee came out. He came out first. Then Randy Orton came out. There wasn't that much interaction with them. Cody Rhodes came out. Then salute. I know I know you gotta go to bed. The bro just hit me. I was trying to get him on real quick, but I know it's CM Punk time, fam. You know, go to sleep. So salute. I'll see you tomorrow. Or see you later today, in my case. 4AZ. 4AZ. Yeah, I don't got no hand signs for that, but either here there. Please check us out Wednesdays on the YouTube channel of 4AZ Teach. 4azteach.org and all the other good stuff on or every streaming platform where podcasts are available. Yeah, just think of that. But they got rid of the celebrity aspect when Jelly Roll interceded the proceedings and took out Pat McAfee, put him to a table. Both of them get reeled off, so it's a one-on-one match. And then toward the end, Pat McAfee comes back out in a referee's shirt and a neck brace, supposedly to help Randy Orton win, but yet he does not do a fast count. So Randy Orton's like looking at him like, dude, what are you here for? Like why do I need you? If you come out in a referee shirt and you don't, why are you here? Where's my advantage? So he RKO's Pat McAfee. And that had everybody scratching their heads, including myself, like, okay, so this was done for what? So they ruined the main event of night one that had 20 years of history behind it to put Pat McAfee in, and it got soundly booed and just it repelled people's interests. So they reversed course after he literally told people, don't waste your money to come or watch or visit WrestleMania. Don't waste your money on this company because the person leading this company ain't worth crap and blah, blah, blah. So what was the purpose? And then for some reason, Randy Orton had this mysterious back injury, not the back injury that we know about, but he must have tweaked his back because there was rumors going around that he tweaked his back. He was going in hurt. So they played that to the hilt. So that led to a methodical match in which Cody Rhodes played subtle heel by going after, or should I say, having the killer instinct to go after Randy Orton. And he finally won when after Randy Orton RKO'd Pat McAfee, Cody Rhodes hit him with the crossroads for the victory. So after the match, Randy Orton gets his revenge. He grabs the title. He hits Cody Rhodes in the face with the title. By this time, both of these people, both Randy and Cody, were bleeding. They got color. So I guess maybe that's a new edict. You can only get color during the main event because the unsanctioned match, when they was using wrenches and everything, not a drop of blood whatsoever. Not a drop. But so not only does he hit him in the face with the championship, which was a redo of last year, John Cena, never seen 17, but he actually punched Cody in the head. And man, listen. Listen. What the heck? Oh, Cody Rhodes' eye at the end of this match, backstage. I believe he actually got kicked in the eye. Now, this is a year after getting his eardrum broken or ruptured by Travis Scott. I have this to say before I continue with this recap, before I move on from this match. Why? Like, do y'all see what Cody is going through in order for any of this to work? It's almost becoming a replay of what happened in the latter days of AEW, where the fan backlash was becoming so strong that Cody Rhodes was willing to do any and everything to maintain not his spot, but maintain his place in the consumer's heart, to remain beloved. Against Andrade, he was putting himself on fire. He was jumping up, he was doing moonshots from the top of the cage. He was proclaiming that his offspring was going to solve racism, the whole nine. Now in WWE, he's like, you know what? I gotta get blood. Hard way blood. Not. I'm not going to bleed. No, Randy, just catch me right in the eyebrow. I trust you, brother. This is what we do. We old school. Randy, you know what? Give it to me as hard as I could take it. Does that look like a man that needs to take what he's taking? Like, this is what I'm gonna reveal something. I was thinking about this last night, and I did jot down some notes. It's about this particular match, this particular situation. And it goes the following. Has WWE totally lost the plot? Cody Rhodes was the first organic, true babyface they had in years. I mean, years. And over the course of 2 years, they've sabotaged the potential Golden Goose. They've cut the earning potential exponentially. Having him step aside for The Rock, then decide not to. 3 years ago. Well, 3 WrestleManias ago. Having John Cena as his opponent at John Cena's last WrestleMania last year. And then having Cena turn heel on him in the lamest way possible to make Cody look like a fool. And then this year, having Randy Orton turn heel after Cody asked for the most violent version of Orton. And then having Pat McAfee come in 3 weeks before Mania and promo on Cody, blaming him falsely for not being able to sell out WrestleMania. For the business not being in a great place, which it is, which Cody has a part in that success. All this combined has allowed those fans who are fickle to begin with to turn the tide. During the main event, Cody is getting his pound of flesh, yet the crowd is roundly booing him. And when I say pound of flesh, I'm talking about Randy Orton bludgeoned him with the kicked him in the balls, bludgeoned him with the stairs and a chair. His friend turned against him. He's getting his revenge, and the crowd is rooting against him getting his revenge. McAfee getting laid out at the beginning and coming back as the referee was lame. Orton's RKO's to McAfee to put a kibosh on the angle, to me was such an absolute waste. It was a waste of time. The whole angle was a waste of time. Randy loses, yet lays out Cody at the end with a punt. So does this continue? And the crowd yelled one more time. Ridiculous. The WWE deserves whatever abandonment they get. And since I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm going to watch night 2, which I did. It can't get any worse than it did. And it didn't, thankfully. But night 1 was, ooh, boy. Boy, night 1. So yeah, now what? Now what? What does WWE do? Your QB1 probably on the injured list, because that eye didn't look great. I don't know if it's attached. I don't know what the hell's going on with that eye, but something happened. Something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. Look at his face. He looks like he's concussed beyond recognition. Ask him what day it is. You're going to talk about it's November. Ask him what year it is. You're going to talk about it's Friday. Ask him what month it is. He's going to talk about it's 1984. You get the gist. For what? I'm really eager to find out who behind the scenes, who in the upper recesses of TKO can't stand Cody Rhodes. Could it be something as simple? And I know this is gonna, and I don't want this to come across vulgar, but in those circles, it could be as simple as this. Maybe, just maybe, somebody wants his wife. If you're a billionaire, a lot of times, and this is just from my thinking, billionaires have to give themselves a challenge. Billionaires want something that they can't buy. And maybe, just maybe, they look at Cody, they look at his wife, they look at his family, they look at his image, and they say, you know what? I don't believe none of that. And maybe they wanted to tar that image. It could be as simple as somebody with the initials of D and J saying, you know, I don't believe he should be the dude. And I want his wife. I mean, shoot, somebody wanted Cody's soul. So what would be above? Why would they be above wanting somebody else's wife? Just because. I'm grasping at straws here because there's really no reason why this happens. None. It's ridiculous. There also was a commercial for LGN toys on night 1. And the ones featured was The Rock, Roddy Piper, and Jelly Roll. Yes, you got that. The Rock, Roddy Piper, and Jelly Roll. Why is, and people want to know what's the matter with the product. People want to know what's the matter with the product. People want to know what's the matter with the product. To get off with the rest of this, Becky Lynch regained and became a 3-time Intercontinental Champion, Women's Intercontinental Champion, by beating AJ Lee in a decent match in which Becky Lynch seemed like she was setting up her next match against Jessica Carr, you know, the referee, the corrupt referee. And AJ Lee looks like she's about to go back into retirement. It was a good match. Well, no, it was all right match. I will say Becky had the prerequisite aggression that was needed, especially with what came before her and what was to come. And she did her best to try to liven up this dead crowd. This crowd was dead for both nights. It really was. So where does Becky go from here? I guess somehow, some way, there'll be some type of angle with Jessica Carr, who, for those who don't know, is a trained wrestler, and maybe they'll have some type of grudge match. We'll go that until they call up the next person for NXT for Becky to put over. And I say that because it's true, but it's incumbent on the talent to actually stay over. Talking to you, Maxine, Messy Maxine, you know, loser Lyra. Yo, I swear. Watch the Chris Van Vliet interview with Becky Lynch during WrestleMania week. It's magnifique. The way that she handled that interview, the way that you can see her mind constantly thinking, and the way she approaches the business, especially at the stage she is in this business, it's impeccable. It really is impeccable. The next match, the 4-way, with the return of Paige. We have new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. It's not the Bella Twins, no, but it's Paige and Brie Bella. Paige was the surprise substitution for Nikki Bella, who is out due to an ankle injury. So, of course, since she's the surprise substitution, they go over. The Irresistible Forces lost. The team of Bailey and Lyra lost. The team of Alexa and Charlotte lost. So we're all the way going back to the year 2015. The Divas era is back in effect. Paige, Saraya, for those who know her from AEW, is back. Oh, anybody, oh. I mean, listen. On a personal note, well, not personal, but in real life, that is it's a great story that she returned to the company in which she thought she would never return to, that she came of age of, that she was taken out of the business of, and forced to retire due to injury. So she was able to make a triumphant return on the grandest stage of all, WrestleMania, with friends. So kudos to her. Like I can't really I can't really complain. I really can't. Next match. Seth freaking Rollins returned to the ring against the Ring General Gunther, or as the Titantron said, the Career Killer. And Gunther defeated Seth freaking Rollins, largely in part due to the interference of the returning Braun Breaker. Now, Braun came back. He speared Seth twice. He speared him once on the outside the ring. That allowed Gunther to come in. I mean, that allowed Gunther to get the upper hand and beat him with the sleeper. And then at the end, when Gunther left, Braun Breaker returned, or should I say, ran 75 yards. I guess it has to be 75 yards because they've used that term multiple times. Ran 75 yards and speared Seth Rollins once again. So that rivalry will continue, or that rivalry will start officially. Now, I'm sorry. I will say this. This is probably the best match of night one. Who would have thought it wouldn't be? I'm not one of those people. But Yeah. Yeah. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. But once again, where does Gunther go now? What is this favor that Paul Heyman owes him? Especially if Brock Lesnar is gone. This might be now I'm thinking about it, this might be a situation of Brock Lesnar retires and the favor is Gunther tells Paul that he has to bring Brock Lesnar out of retirement so he can retire. I know that. I swear if I am correct on that, it just shows you how inept the WWE booking truly is. But yeah, great match. Great match. Liv Morgan is your new world women's world champion, defeating Stephanie Vaquer in a okay match, short match. I believe these two could really put on a great match, but maybe perhaps due to Liv, I'm not saying that she's still injured, but she still has a hematoma. Look at the picture. She still has a hematoma on her head, and she has two black eyes. And yet, people in the crowd, people watching it over TV are saying she can still get it. Okay. I mean, if you like, anyway, I get it. I get it. I get it. But she is the new women's world champion. Once again, where do they go from here? Matter of fact, more importantly, where does Stephanie Vaquer go from here? She had the title from September WrestlePalooza until WrestleMania, and she left the ring. There was no more mention of her whatsoever. Um, like, where does she go from there? The Judgment Day looks like it's still in effect. Are we going to have an implosion on the female side? Because at the end of that match, Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne was all standing tall. And those are two players in the women's division that if you take them out due to affiliation, okay, where does that leave Liv and where does that leave Stephanie? Or does Stephanie join the Judgment Day and the Judgment Day becomes an all women faction? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Do. What's the next match? What's the next match? Where do you at? Where do you at? Where do you at? Okay. You had the 6-man tag with the Usos and LA Knight. They defeated the team of Division, the World Tag Team Champion, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and their tag team partner, I Show Speed, in which I Show Speed course Theory the match, allow him to get pinned. They bully I Show Speed. The Usos came, LA Knight came to even the odds and allow I Show Speed to get his comeuppance on Logan Paul. But if you talk about fall from grace, shoot, what a fall from grace for Jey Uso. Last year, he was opening WrestleMania by winning the World Championship. This year, he's opening WrestleMania in a nothing 6-man tag with no story. He has no storyline going on whatsoever. Maybe it rekindles now with Roman being a champion, but I'm just going from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. Something's still not right. It would not surprise me if Jay has a trick up his sleeve. Best believe. And the last match that I will talk about, give my opinion on, was Drew McIntyre losing to Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match, which went about 15 minutes. It was okay match. Was nothing to write home about. Jacob Fatu got the much needed victory. But once again, where did Jacob go? Yeah, where did Jacob go? Because technically, you got two faces as world champions. WWE champion, world champion. and you have Jacob as a face, a rough around the edges face, but a face nevertheless. I don't know, but and once again, congratulations to Bianca Belair for her newest for the announcement of her newest addition to the family. Yes, yes, and that's pretty much it. You know, um, listen, I am so tired. I'm tired. I am weak. This weekend. Oh yeah, WrestleMania recap is over. Let me take this banner down. WrestleMania recap is over. Um, I've been talking about wrestling for the last 3 weeks consistently. So I'm going to talk a little bit about me, and yeah, the Mets, they lost again. Like, of course they lost again, right? They have lost 11 straight. And you know what that brings? That brings this. The Mets have lost 11 straight. The Mets, just off the top of my head, the last time when they was before this 11 game losing streak, they were 7-4. Now they're 7-15. I want to say they probably have the worst record in Major League Baseball, or at the very least, the worst record in the National League. And they come back home on Tuesday to face the Minnesota Twins. I wonder how many people are going to be lining up to go to Citi Field on a Tuesday night where it's chilly with a team that's coming back home on an 11 game losing streak with the highest payroll in Major League Baseball. I don't know. But Smitty, hope you're happy. And that's your Mets report. The Knicks, yes, the Knicks. Playoff time has started, and the Knicks won game one of their first round Eastern Conference series against the Atlanta Hawks. What was it? 113, 111? Something to that fact. No, 113, 101, or something to that fact. But we beat them by 11. At home, Jalen Brunson had 28, 19 in the first quarter. Carl Anthony Towns had 25 with 19 coming in the second half. And they did play like a well-oiled machine. And that's probably what type of time I'm going to be on for the next, until they retire. I mean, until they get eliminated. Hopefully, never. Hopefully, we win a championship. But I'm probably going to be on some Knicks talk for the foreseeable future, starting. Well, I can't actually not next week. And next week, I have a special guest. It would not be sports related, but I have a special guest. Tell you, I got some tricks under my sleeve. So, but maybe I'll sprinkle in live here, live there, and get back on my Knicks talk. Next, got a new addition. This guy right here. Yeah, I know. Probably like, hold on. I knew there was something different in the background. What is that? That's Bucky. Yeah. The missus went on a civil rights tour, week or so ago, spanning from Atlanta to Alabama, or should I say BK to Alabama, spanning Georgia, Alabama, Georgia, Atlanta, Birmingham, Montgomery, and Selma. And her trek to the south, she came in contact with Buc-ee's, and she got me a real live Buc-ee for myself. So I've never had the food, I've never had the drink, but I got me a Buc-ee. Next thing I need is a pinky. Yeah, that's right. Big pinky gonna be in effect. Pink box donuts. I'm not getting out to Vegas probably until next year. I think that's gonna be like a yearly sojourn, to tell you the truth. But I'm not gonna get out there until next year. But I need pinky beforehand. So if I can't get the donuts, at least I can get pinky. Yeah. My daughter, Main Event K. We went on a college sojourn to University of Albany. Good campus. So far, so good. But there is one thing that I do not like, and that is their mascot, Damien. Damien is their mascot, a Great Dane, because their mascot are Great Danes, the Albany Great Danes. And while normally I would be all about merch, I'll be all about repping for the university that my spawn goes to. In this case, not so much. Something about that dog. That dog looks suspicious. It's a Great Dane. His eyes are black. He got horns like this. I mean, ears that look like horns. They actually have a statue of him that they say during finals time, people go and they rub his nose. That's why his nose is gold. And I'm like, that looks like a false idol to me. I ain't rubbing that. No, I'm not taking no picture with that. No, I'm not getting nothing with that Great Dane looking at. Just something. The fact that his name is Damien, the Omen 2. I'm not rocking with it. I'm not rocking with it. But besides that, purple. Not really liking the purple color either, but it's not for me. It's not for me. I don't live my youth. Now, I'm not trying to live my youth through my children's youth. I want them to enjoy their fruits of their labor. And I'll be there to do everything I can. But I don't know. If there's one thing I will do, I'm going to try to write a petition for them to change the mascot. Can we have a bulldog, a chihuahua, a shih tzu, something? Or can we at least change the name? And can we get the ears to be floppy? Damien, like, they know what they're doing. It's in the Capitol. Illuminati, all that. They know what they're doing. Trust me, they know what they're doing. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here because it's almost 90 minutes and I really wasn't trying to be like this. But I figured I'd get this all out. Get this out to y'all for the masses. For y'all to get your WrestleMania goody goods. And so I could put a top on my WrestleMania talk. Oh, for all my viewers and my followers of the Mike Steph WrestleMania Memories Tour. Yeah, I know I'm 3 short. I know I did not come out with 39, 40, or 41. Trust and believe, before the end of the month, which will probably be, in another week or so, before we touch with May, before Backlash, let's put it that way. Before Backlash comes out, I will complete the WrestleMania Memories Tour or WrestleMania Memories Series. Y'all get the business. I'm getting out of here. I'm tired. It's 2:30. I done did this way later than I wanted to, and I've had about 7 hours sleep this whole weekend. So I'm running on gas. Speaking of gas, do you know that gas in upstate New York is $5.50 a gallon? $5.50 a gallon. If that's not enough reason to impeach somebody, you tell me